Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the new health conversation. Yeah, research has discovered a dramatic breakthrough in weight loss after almost 40 years of research. It's not a lotion, potion, pill, product, etc. It's really a extensive research into food groupings that make an enormous difference in the metabolism of the human body. The researchers who invented this are considered the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. And they've spent 38 years, 100 studies looking at about every kind of diet out there. And what they determined is that the flaw in all diets was the whole premise. The whole premise of a diet, as you probably know, is this nonsense around calories in, calories out. But the huge problem with that is the human body doesn't know what a calorie is. To be more precise from a scientific standpoint of view, they're using the calorie to really measure the only thing that the body cares about, and that is the quantity of the nutrition in our food. So what happens on a diet, let me back up. What happens in life is that we have a minimum amount of nutrition that the body needs. It has nothing to do with calories, okay? A calorie is just a measurement, but it's not the important thing. What's important is the nutrition in our food is what fuels all the organs in our body. When you go on a diet and you lower the amount of food you're consuming, what else are you lowering? You're lowering nutrition. When the brain senses there's not enough nutrition, which is fuel, the brain reacts and puts you in starvation mode, prevents you from burning, hey, I'm from Switzerland. Oh, great. Sir, I have a doubt. What would be your doubt? Let's see. I'm just curious. What's your doubt? And by the way, I guess it's Happy New Year, your time. Wow, it's the middle of the night over there. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. I'm surprised you're on TikTok at this time of day. So you said 3 times, I have a doubt, I have a doubt. What's your doubt? But anyway, it doesn't matter. So let me go. Hello, Susan. Imagine, Susan, being able to lose. This is not photoshopped in any way. This is true. These researchers discovered a new weight loss program where men and women are losing as much weight in 7 days as 8 weeks of any diet safely. Most women lose a whole dress size in a week. Most men are losing 2 to 4 inches off their waist. In a month's time, people are losing the kind of weight it takes a year on diets, losing no water, and gaining 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. Why are diets failing us? We wrote the definitive book in 2010 called Why Diets Are Failing Us. It was a big bestseller. And what we said was the whole notion around calorie counting, calories in, calories out, was completely outdated. It didn't work because the human body doesn't even know what a calorie is. Now you're going on a diet and you're counting calories. But the problem with that is the human body doesn't even know what a calorie is. So really what you're doing is you're determining the amount of food you're consuming. You're using calorie as a measurement, but that's okay. So let's just say that. But the problem is the body has a minimum amount of nutrition that it needs. And when you go on a diet and lower the quantity of food you're consuming, because that's what you're doing, you're lowering nutrition. It triggers a starvation mode in the brain. The brain shuts down fat burning and turns to your muscles for fuel. And then in reaction to that, it slows down your metabolism. That's why you gain all the weight back on all of these diets, okay? The second thing that happens is even worse by losing lean muscle mass is that also the body slows down your own immune system response. So the very diet you're going on to fit in your skinny jeans is doing something to you. It's not doing something for you in the long run. Listen, there's no argument that calories in, calories out, if you want to use that method, people lose weight. But you're being misled. It has nothing to do with the calories. It has everything to do with what's in the food you're consuming. And when you lower the amount of food you're consuming, you lower the amount of nutrition. Does this make sense to all of you? That's why diets can't work. Now, I don't want you just to believe me, but let's go to the big experts, what they're saying about this. They're admitting that what they've been telling us for more than 100 years about counting calories to lose weight was completely wrong. Here's Harvard Medical School, Stop Counting Calories. This is what they said. This idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion and begin to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. To my point, let's go to another big article. Why you shouldn't count calories. This is not my opinion. We don't give you opinions. Everything we share with you is medically backed. No opinions, okay? This is not an infomercial. This is a podcast where you can learn why in the world you don't want to start relying on counting calories to lose weight starting actually on Thursday. A lot of you are going to start on diets at your New Year's resolution. But listen to what the scientists are saying, okay? Truth is, calorie counting is a terrible approach for weight loss. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse is 2/3 of people who counter restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. Okay, now, if that's not enough, listen to this. This is 80 weight loss clinical trials. The researchers compared all forms of calorie reduction diets. They found that any diet by reducing calories, people lost weight initially, but people's weight steadily came back to where it was and beyond. This is 80 studies telling you that what you're about to do by going on a diet and counting calories, you're going to gain all your weight back. I mean, who's telling you that on social media? They're giving you all this nonsense. And we look around at them. Here's the other evidence. 1964, 10% of America was overweight or obese. In 2024, as we sit here today, 80% of America is overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. Do you really? I'd love for anyone to put in the chat a diet you think works long term. We're not arguing that you can lose weight short term, but that means nothing. Life is a journey. It's not a destination. All these diets are destination. We're going to a wedding. We got an anniversary. We're going to the Bahamas, whatever. All noble goals, right? But if it's, why you go through all that pain and agony for maybe a month or 2 months and then you gain all your weight back? That's what these researchers cracked. They're the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. And here's what they did. They said our food in North America in particular is becoming more and more nutritionally basically bankrupt, insufficient. So they put together this is food. This is what you're going to be doing, but different food from different sources. 30% of the food you consume comes from the grocery store. You actually get a grocery store list, proteins, fats, carbs, etc. The other 70% of the food you consume comes from these 5 sources from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand. And these researchers who put this together said those 5 foods represent for the first time in history the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. That's the only thing you should care about. So 30% of the food they had the people in the studies do came from the grocery store and 70% from these foods around the world. And then they created 2 new, totally different ways of consuming food. Because you know, if you cook, you have the ingredients. So we do have the ingredients now. 30% of the food from the grocery store, 70% from around the world. Then they created 2 completely new forms of eating. First one, 5 days a week, they had people do something called protein pacing. What the heck's that? For 5 days a week, people had 4 meals a day. Imagine that on a diet, right? They started with the world's most perfect meal. Lunch from the grocery list, a 3rd meal from the grocery list, and the 4th meal, the world's most perfect meal. 2 days a week, they did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting. This is completely new. No food from the grocery store, only these 5 foods from around the world 4 times a day. And what were the results? On the 8th day, they had people after a week weigh in. Men and women had lost as much weight in 7 days as 8 weeks of any diet you've ever been, or they ever tested. Women lost a whole dress size in 7 days, men 2 to 4 inches off their waist. No one was allowed to exercise. Let's fast forward. After a month, people were losing as much weight as people lost in a year. No loss of water. And instead of losing lean muscle mass, which is the case on all diets, we'll go on into that in a moment, they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass in a month. That's the least important part of this story. Here's what else shocked them. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, all came down dramatically in 30 days. Hunger came down 41% in a month, and people, inflammation, which is the underlying cause of every disease out there, came down 25% in 30 days. They were shocked. They've been doing this for almost 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people. They analyzed pretty much every diet you could imagine. That's why researchers discovered safe, rapid, sustainable weight loss. Because here's the other thing. The studies, which I have right here, and you can see them on the website. We put the website down in the comments at the bottom, The New Health Conversation. You can see it. It's above my name as well, or above my head in this podcast. I mean, you get to see all the medical proof for free. We won't contact you. There's nothing to buy. This is totally free. It's completely safe. Why? Because it's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. We don't have to make up anything. There's nobody else that I'm seeing on social media that's showing you one shred of medical evidence. They're giving you opinions, lots of opinions. And I see medical doctors and chiropractors and dietitians, nutritionists, weight loss, and fitness people giving you all this, calories in, calories out. It's totally wrong to start out with, because The body doesn't count calories. So all that means is if you're using the calorie as a measurement, you're talking about the quantity, the amount of food you're actually consuming. Anybody tell me a diet that's not some, where am I wrong? Please explain to me how this is wrong. Sir, don't buy any of my books. Go to the website, which I'm going to put it up there for you again. Someone's asked me which of my books to read. They don't have to, you know, look, that's the point. My books are not for sale on that website. We don't do that. We want to make it so any of you can go to the New Health Conversation. You can see it in the, right there. You can see it, the New Health Conversation. That's where you can see all the medical proof. Look, but it gets better than that. If you go to the website, we won't contact you. You get to see all the medical proof, okay? Then, and only then, if you decide you like what you see and it backs up everything I'm saying, you can scroll down and sign up for a free personal consultation with one of our coaches. Not only is the consultation free, but the coach will coach you the whole time for free. Now, please understand, you don't buy anything from the researchers. You don't buy anything from us, okay? 30% of your food, you get a grocery list, you're going to buy from the grocery store. The other 70% are 5 foods from around the world that your coach will show you how to order directly from them. Those that supplied. So you're buying wholesale from the same people that supplied the foods to the studies. But listen, it gets better. Those 5 foods, which represent 70% of what you're going to spend, they give you a 100% money back guarantee in the first 30 days. Not us. We don't have anything to do with that. Look, you can, look, it's almost like a cult. I mean, it's like crazy. And I get so much pushback and hate mail and whatever. People say, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a snake oil salesman, et cetera. And I'm not telling you this to impress you, okay? I've spent 22 years of my life as a nutritional researcher, working with some of the top medical doctors, geneticists, molecular biologists, and nutraceutical chemists and researchers in the entire world. I wrote 4 best-selling books with medical doctors. I did 20 shows on PBS, interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America, and did over 1,500 live lectures in universities and hospitals. And I even went to China. They flew me to China. So I have, but again, let me be honest. I'm the researcher of the researchers. So that's why I'm saying it's not my research. We're sharing the research with you. So we don't have to make up anything. This is all real. It's all safe, but it's all medically backed. These are not claims that we're making. Men and women literally did lose as much weight in 7 days as 8 weeks of any diet, lost as much weight in a month as a year on diets. And instead of losing lean muscle, they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. Now, I'm going to show you a couple pictures. You will think they're photoshopped, okay? These are not photoshopped in any way. But I don't just want you to pay attention to the amount of weight loss. I want you to see the change in the body composition. Because in the studies, one of the things that they proved, in 8 weeks, people shrank their visceral fat. That's the fat around your organs by 33% in 8 weeks with no exercise, okay? But just keep in mind, this is probably going to shock you. You're going to think we photoshopped them. On my kids' lives, on my grandkids' lives, we didn't Photoshop anything. It's just that this is like, how did Elon Musk launch that rocket and catch the booster? This is kind of like that. I understand these studies, which were started about 6 years ago. By the way, the people who lost the weight in these studies, they've kept the weight off now for 6 years. In my case, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks. I've kept it off for 22 years, okay? So let me show you the first picture. This is exactly 30 days. Okay, look at that. 21.2 pounds, 38.75 inches. Pay attention to the abdomen, stomach, waist area. She's not sucking her stomach in. That's the actual shrinkage with no exercise in 30 days. How would you like that to happen? Okay, now here's the second one. This is 5 weeks. Again, pay attention. Look at the neck, look at the arms, look at the stomach area, look at the legs. You can see there, it's 5 weeks. They're not Photoshopped. Now, I know it's hard to believe. Here's another one where you won't think it's even the same person. This is actually 3 months, 90 days, 60 pounds. Look at the difference in, it's not Photoshopped. I know you think it is. It does look like a completely different person. It's actually the daughter of one of my realtor friends that went on this. And then here's an athlete. For you athletes out there working in the gym, look at this transformation from day one, actually in really good shape. 4 days later, And 11 days later, look at that transformation in just 11 days. No photoshopping. It's totally safe. This is not about anything other than showing you medical proof, medical evidence. We don't make claims. If you want claims, there's plenty of people on social media that'll give you claims. But in addition, we're showing you, giving you access to the medical, the studies. They're on that website. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you the website right now, just so you don't think I'm making it up. This is the only thing on the website. There's nothing to buy there. Number one is an interview with the #1 nutritional researcher in the world who created this with his team of people. You'll hear him say in the interview, they'll never recommend any form of traditional diet ever again after nearly 40 years of research, 100 studies on every diet out there. He said it would literally be unethical for them to recommend any form of calories in, calories out. He said, Peter, why would we recommend to people to go on a diet that would take them 8 weeks to, now we know, lose weight in the most unhealthy way, because up to 40% of what they're losing is their lean muscle, which slows, because it said in all the studies, we had people on every diet lose weight. But when we measured the lean muscle, it had gone down by as much as 40%, and every person, every time, gained back all their weight. That's what you're up against, whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. The point is the science is there. What's so, I guess not surprising, but disappointing, because I see the people coming on and then they jump off and because they don't believe it. They think there's another shoe or the shoe's going to drop. There's no other shoe. This is all 100% real. And it's 100% backed by what? 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. Researchers did discover a revolutionary, safe, rapid weight loss that's sustainable. The key to this, you know what they call the program? They call it R2M, Race to Maintenance. So it's completely about you having access to the medical knowledge so you can make a difference if that's what you want to do. It's not our job. We're not here to convince you. We're not here to sell you. That's why we give you access to the medical proof for free. You can go and see the evidence yourself. But why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go and at least look at what's there? And then you get a free consultation, and if you do it, you get a free coach the whole time. What am I missing here? I'd love for anybody to come on and tell me about the diet they're about to start on Thursday, on January 2nd. Because again, I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but all the evidence is that you're going to at least lose back all the weight that you do lose, or you're going to end up weighing more than you did when you started. I mean, the big medical studies, that's what they're saying. There's 66 and 2/3 of people who count or restrict calories end up gaining more than I know you got the people on I see them, the influences. Time restricted eating, don't eat for 16 hours, eat for 8. You're going to lose 20 pounds and it's mostly fat. Complete fabrication. There's not one shred of evidence behind it. And I've got the medical proof here to prove it. Hello, Judith. Imagine, Judith, okay, they don't even stay long enough to even find out what it's about. It's just incredible. But for the people that do stick around to find out the medical proof, they're changing their lives. Look, I've been doing this for 22 years. We figure we've helped about 700,000 people lose something like 20 million pounds. I'm serious. But it's only been the last year and a half when we had the medical studies that now medical doctors and health professionals and dietitians and nutritionists are jumping on board, because there's nothing to compare this to. These researchers who invented this, they've been doing this for almost 40 years. And they did 100 studies, thousands of people, and figured out why diets don't work. It's really pretty simple. Your body only cares about nutrition. The key would be, if you can give your body enough nutrition to run all your organs with less amount of food, you're going to lose weight and you're going to be able to maintain it. That's the basic principle that they came up with. But I know most of you are all hung up on, it's going to be New Year's Eve tonight, at least in the United States. I know already in other parts of the world, it's literally, I know New Zealand, it's already Happy New Year over there. But I'd like to say that for any of you, if you're really serious about losing weight, why aren't you at least open to the possibility that there's something completely different and new that no one's ever seen before? Is it that the title is too much? Discover safe, rapid, sustainable weight loss after 40 years of research, right? I mean, I just think that we're in a position now where with 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic, maybe we need to consider doing something different. The something different is what these research. TikTok University email. I'm not exactly sure. They're sending me messages here in TikTok. I have no idea what they mean. But anyway, I encourage your viewers to send gifts and thank them for, well, I am thanking them for their support. I mean, we've been doing this now for about a year. We've done anywhere from 3 to 5 podcasts a day. We really have helped an awful lot of people, but we haven't even, hello, Mark. So Mark, this is real. How would you like to lose as much weight? Hi, Dawn. Are you interested in losing weight with this new research? I guess not. You're going to count calories and you're going to gain all your weight back. That's what happens to everybody. Diets, okay. Diets do not work, period. End of the story. It's not up for debate. So are any of you interested in losing weight? Are you going to all just start counting calories on January 2nd, and by the end of March, you'll have started to gain all your weight back? And certainly within, hello, Marilyn. How would you like to lose as much weight in a week safely as in 8 weeks of any diet you've ever been on with no exercise? How about losing as much weight in a month as a year? Again, it's too much. People don't believe it. I mean, they say they're serious about losing weight, but they keep doing it. It's the herd mentality. They're all moving forward with what? Counting calories, calories in, calories out, calories in, calories out, over and over and over again. Hello, pretty beauty. I mean, pretty beauty, let me just show you. Well, okay. For any of you, this is not Photoshopped, okay? This is exactly 30 days, 21.2 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. It's totally safe. It's backed by 10 peer-reviewed medical trials, 10 studies. I mean, who would not be interested in finding out how in the world did this occur? It's completely real. Or this one, this is exactly 5 weeks. Look at the neck, arms, stomach, legs. Look at the difference in just 5 weeks. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's revolutionary. It's new. It was invented by the top weight loss nutrition researchers in the entire world. And yet, I can tell, I mean, people are just, you know, they're hung up on paleo or keto or they're all hyped up on whatever new diet, the DASH diet, they're doing GOLO, none of that works long term. It's all nonsense. It's complete and utter nonsense. It's been completely debunked in study after study after study after study. So for any of you that are you really serious about losing weight? I mean, here's what I'm saying. Pause your skepticism long enough to go and look at the medical proof. Yes or no. That's up to you. It's not up to us. So anyway, we're at 23 minutes. I'm going to go about another minute or two and see if anybody else is interested in learning how they can. Well, again, you're going to go on a diet. It's going to take, you could lose as much weight in 7 days safely as in 8 weeks of any diet. And most of you are going to go and count calories. You're going to lose the weight, gain it all back over and over and over again. That's all you're doing. It doesn't work. It's never worked, okay? So when I say researchers discover safe, rapid, sustainable weight loss proven in 10 human trials, that's for real. It's not an infomercial. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to end this podcast and I will, hi, John. How you doing? John Thanos 915. I guess you're not doing too well because you got off in 2 seconds. I mean, I'm pretty surprised that people really are ignoring science and going with these pretenders that are giving you these solutions that all the medical evidence proves. Hello, Carla. Hello, Kat. How would any of you like to be able to lose as much weight? Look at this, Carla. This is exactly 30 days. 21.2 pounds, 38 inches, no exercise. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. And that's what we're teaching people about, this new protocol that's going to change everything we thought about diet, exercise, and nutrition. I know it's hard to believe. It's not Photoshopped. It's real. And it's 100% safe. It's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. So Carla, how excited would you be if you could lose as much weight in 7 days, or Sherry, lose as much weight in 7 days as 8 weeks of any diet? Most women lose a whole dress size in a week. And in a month, men and women are losing as much weight as a year on diets and gaining 6 to 9% lean muscle, and no one's allowed to exercise. So I'd love for anybody to put in the comment, a diet. Are you thinking about going on a diet on January 2nd? Is that your goal for 2025? I'm not sure. But Sherry, look at this picture. This is exactly 30 days. It's not Photoshopped in any way. Notice it's not just a tremendous amount of weight she lost, 21 pounds in a month, but 38 inches. Look at her waist, abdomen, stomach, and she's not sucking it in. See, what they never tell you on these diets is they never talk about body composition. That's why you see the people lose the weight and they have all the loose skin, because the main thing that you're losing on any diet is your lean muscle mass. Does that make sense? What is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? And if you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I'm more than happy if you have a weight loss goal, I'll tell you what's realistic about how soon you can do it. Now, here's the point. The researchers that invented this are the top weight loss researchers in the world, Sherry. They've done 38 years of research to figure out why diets don't work in the long run, because we know they don't. We have 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. Does that sound like diets are working? So what they did, they put together a new combination of food. Only 30% of the food people you would consume, you get a grocery list, you go to the grocery store. The other 70% comes from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, from suppliers. Those 5 foods, the researchers call the world's most perfect meal from a nutritional standpoint of view. Nothing to do with calories, okay? Then they started the protocol. 5 days each week until you get to your goal. You have 4 meals a day. You start your day with these 5 foods from around the world. You have lunch from the grocery list, a 3rd meal from the grocery list, and your 4th meal from the world's most perfect meal. Then 2 days a week, you do something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting. No food from the grocery store, but these 5 foods you have 4 times a day. So you're actually fasting with nutrition. And like I said, look at the results. But this is the other one that's so amazing. This is 5 weeks. Again, not Photoshop. Look at her neck, her arms, her stomach, and her legs. You can see she's shrinking. Her body composition is shrinking. And they tested what's called the visceral fat, which is the fat around the organs. In 8 weeks, men and women, not allowed to exercise, by the way, they reduced their visceral fat by 33% in 8 weeks. If you go to the website, which is free, and it's down at the bottom, you can see it there, the new health conversation. There's even more before and afters. There's people lost 100 pounds. They have no loose skin. See, that's one of the big fallacies about these diets. Yes, you can lose weight on any diet, but it's the most unhealthy weight loss you can ever lose, because you're losing lean muscle. And when that happens, your body slows down metabolism. That's why you plateau. That's why you come off these diets and you're gone. Great. Go for it, Sherry. Go gain weight, because that's what's going to happen to all of you. Diets don't work. Do you get it? They don't work. Period. Long term, they don't work. Study after study says that. I mean, right here, why you shouldn't count calories. Truth is, calorie counting is a terrible approach for weight loss. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse is 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're going to go on. Hi, David. What we're talking about is the ability now with this new breakthrough. I guess you don't want to lose weight. If you don't want to lose weight and if you don't want to get healthy, then you don't need to be on this podcast. Go on paleo or keto. See, all these diets, the only thing, weight loss is not health. Let's be clear. Because the weight you're losing is lean muscle mass, which is the most harmful thing you could ever do to your body. The most harmful thing. So anyway, I'm going to conclude this live. It's now 12 o'clock on the East Coast, so I'll probably do another one around 1 o'clock Eastern time. And I hope for any of you that were on here, you learned something. And I invite you again to go to you can see it there, the New Health Conversation. That's the website with all the medical proof. And if you like what you see, you can scroll down and sign up for a free consultation. I mean free, okay? Hi, J555. This is real, okay? This is real. This is backed by medical proof. Okay, so that's it for today, folks, or for this podcast. Maybe we'll see some of you again in an hour, and maybe